Hello, hello, hello. Continuing along, 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide, Chapter 6 Cosmology, Tour of the Multiverse. We're now into the seas. There's only one sea plane, and that would be Carceri, shown on on our cosmic wheel. It's sitting down here on the lower planes. It's considered a neutral evil with chaotic tendencies. Carceri is sometimes considered the prison of the multiverse as well. Let's read what they got to say, then we'll take a look at some alternative sources as we have been. Carceri, the grim inspiration for all other prisons in existence, Carceri is a plane of desolation and despair. Its 6 layers hold vast bogs, fetid jungles, windswept deserts, jagged mountains, frigid oceans, and black ice. All form a miserable home for the traitors and backstabbers trapped on this prison plane. So there are 6 layers to Carceri. This is a strange plane. We'll get into some describing it and detailing it in a second. What do we got here? The first layer is Orthrus. The river Styx meanders through a layer of vast bogs and quicksand. The second layer is Cathrus. The stench of decay hangs over the fetid jungles and the scarlet plains. Situated as the third layer is Minithus. Stinging sands blown in unending storms, hiding the ruins of the ancient city Parathion. Colithus is the next one. Deep chasms cut between cruel mountains make foot travel nearly impossible. Porphytus. Cold, acidic oceans are fed by constant black snow. And last is Agathis. Black ice streaked with red covers this frigid realm. 6 layers of Carceri. Now, let's get into it here. No one can leave Carceri easily. Magical efforts to leave the plane by any spell other than wish simply fail. Portals and gates that can open onto the plane become one way only. Secret passages out of the plane exist. They are hidden and well guarded by traps and deadly monsters. And though the river Styx flows between Carceri and its neighbors, the passage is extremely dangerous, and ferries leading out of Carceri are both rare and expensive. Carceri Adventures. Carceri is a sunless plain of despair, of passions and poisons, and of realm-shattering betrayals. Hatred runs like a deep, slow-moving river, and there's no telling what the flood of treachery will consume next. It is said that prisoners can escape Carceri only by becoming stronger than whatever force imprisoned them there, but it's a difficult task on a plane whose very nature breeds despair and betrayal. The same tendency towards betrayal prevents those who are imprisoned here from working together for long towards the common goal of escape. Adventures on Carceri might explore the forces, spiritual and psychological, as well as the physical and outright demonic that keep characters trapped or imprisoned there. Characters might help a prisoner escape from an unjustly held spirit to some primeval god banished to oblivion there. Some deep concepts, some cool stuff in regards to adventure idea. That's the end of the reading, by the way. If you're here for audiobook, thanks for hanging out for 3 minutes. Come back for the next video. If you're here for comments, that's what we're about to get into. As is typical with D&D, our lower layers seem to be greater hotbeds for adventures than our upper layers. Lower meaning our evil layers. Because, you know, the heroes are supposed to be the hero of the story. The players are the heroes of the story, right? They should be doing good shit. Hypothetically. Anyway, Carceri, once again, we're going back into our 2nd edition Planescape library. We're still looking at Libra Mortis, Planes of Conflict. Not Libra Mortis, wrong book, wrong video, sorry. And this is kind of a interesting image on Carceri, okay? It's 6 layers. Each of the layers is interlocked within each other like nesting dolls, and each of these pearls, beads, whatever you want to call them, are linked in an infinite line. So you have an infinite number of these pearls, and within each of these worlds, pearls, globes, whatever you want to call them, are 6 more layers intertwined with each other. Mind might already be broken. You might already be like, what the actual hell? I can't run that. And that's okay. But the idea here is not to be so complex you can't run it. The idea is that you have an infinite layer of worse and worse punishments that can stand on their own as their own adventures. You've got the Bastion of Last Hope sitting here, Mount Orthoris, the Steading, and a couple other small locations here. But make no doubt, Carceri is the multiverse's prison, okay? If you've done something that betrayal, you're a traitor, anything that would be worthy of a criminal edict, as it were. You've been charged, I don't say, you've been charged by the cosmology, guilty of your crimes, and you get to spend the rest of your life in an eternal prison. Not far from the abyss, but certainly not the abyss, okay? But sometimes the ideas become interchangeable. So Carceri is a trippy place. Physically managing the layers can be a challenge. That's why I wanted to kind of go to this so you could kind of see and understand. When you hear the 6 layers, they are 6 layers intertwined, but each of these is also its own little globe that connects to something else. Really good artwork within this that kind of shows you, the process, the basic layout. Yeah, your mind might be broken, it might be tripping. Carceri might be just too complex for you to run, but there is a little bit of lore in the D&D multiverse that says that there are actually more layers to Carceri than there are to the abyss. Ultimately, it's a moot point because both of them are infinite in nature. So how do you have more infinity and less infinity? It's like arguing, no takebacks infinity plus 1. Seriously. So keep that in mind. But yeah, ultimately, if you want to get into Carceri as an adventure location, you do have to go back into some of our older lore. There's not a ton of stuff outside of Planescape adding adventure to Carceri, okay? So yeah, we are looking at the Planes of Conflict box set. You have Lier Benevolentiae and Lier Libre Bad Guy as well. Excuse my terminology. Libre Maleventiae. So this is where your dark conflict is popping up. This is where you get into the Grey Waste and Carceri and all of that. The infinite portals of them. Really cool, really fun stuff, but yes, it's going to take you a lot of work as a DM to prepare some of these outer planes, some of these more alien and obscure planes, as it were, something that your players can understand while still being able to voice the strangeness of it, okay? That's the thing with going to Carceri is you want to focus a part of it on the alien nature of the planes, how weird they are. But it's one of those that's really hard to do. So, I know a lot of GMs that won't touch Carceri, and I can't blame them because it's kind of weird getting your brain around 6 layers, a infinite string of globes that connect to each other, and within each of these globes is 6 other layers positioned as nesting dolls, and each of these 6 interior layers connect with the other interior layer. Agathis in this globe connects with Agathis this in this globe. But in order for this globe's Agathis to get to this globe's Orthis, they have to pass through Porphithis, Colithis, Minithis, Carthis to get to Orthis. Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, I'm getting lost. It's okay. Carceri is a prison for both our worst NPCs in the world and for the DMs that start working there. It's easy to get confused with it, so I can't blame a brother or sister for not wanting it. But make no bones, there is some good content to help you flesh it out. Thanks so much for hanging out. Carceri is a neat plane. Neat, interesting concept, but it can be a little bit frightening to work with. Likes, follows, subscribes are appreciated. Continue on. Love to see you back. Thank you for your time. Would love to see you back for the next episode in our series. But we're going to go ahead and end the video now. We are on Carceri as we tour the multiverse. Appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.